अस्सलाम वालेकुम नाज़रीन। ये मैं एक वीडियो जो कि काफ़ी अर्सा पहले बनाई गई थी आपको दिखाना चाहता हूँ। तो ये यादगार होती है, उसमें मुझे भी याद आ जाता है मेरा वक़्त। और ये अच्छी चीज़ें हैं, हम जो है अच्छे करने की कोशिश करें तो फिर ही बात बनती है, वरना जो है इसमें बुराई का तो ये मेरा साथ में बात भी करूँगा, लेकिन आप देखें ये है ज़रा लेंथी सी 25 मिनट ऑलमोस्ट। तो देखें, आपको उम्मीद है कि यहाँ पे जो है कितना काम करते हैं कम्युनिटी के लिए, पाकिस्तान के लिए। और वहाँ तो hello and welcome to the Atlantic Examiner. I am your guest Gulistan Malik, and today we are lucky to join their two wonderful respected guests. Uh, One is Mrs. Farhat Hussain, and my other guest is Mary Al-Haq. We are doing this show for the regarding the 50th anniversary that was last year, November 22nd. We want to say thank you the officials of the city of Quincy. They came and they appreciate and they participate and they recognize, they spend time with us. We want to say thank you. Due to the lot of snow, we never get chance. It's a little bit late, but still we remember, and that's the very important event. And they went, our event went very well in City Hall and in Islamic Center. So I have a couple photo from those and I want to play and show, so we can recognize their times. So can we get the clip of the City Hall, please?
From the Quincy City Council, presented to the Islamic Center of New England, in recognition of 50 years serving the Muslim community of New England. As New England's oldest mosque, the New England Islamic Center has served as a model for family services, educational excellence, and community service. We honor your contributions to our community and extend our warmest congratulations on this golden anniversary. And this is by all the members joined here this evening of the Quincy City Council. So please join me in
those are the city officials. This one is Jack Gatro. I know him for our ये पाकिस्तान भी गया था, ये सीक्वेंसी का है। काफ़ी नुमाइंदे पाकिस्तान गए थे, उसने सारा बताया। Those are the वहाँ पे वो उस वक्त तो चीफ जस्टिस एक लेडी थी, मुझे नाम नहीं पता, लेकिन ये उसका बताना था कि वो जो है उसने बताया।
There was a lot of speeches that the officials gave, and it was very clear that they were familiar with many of the members of the center. Secretary Zeta and other people, and it was just wonderful to see that there's so much integration between the city officials and the community in Quincy.
Yes, sure. That's, and those are the clips you can see. That was a lot of our members, they came, and that was a event went very well. तो ये मैंने बनाई हो सकता, मैं प्रोफेशनल या इतना पढ़ा लिखा नहीं हूँ, मैं तो आम कन्वीनियंस स्टोर पे जॉब करने वाला आदमी हूँ। तो गैस स्टेशन और छोटे मोटे, लेकिन फिर भी अपनी कम्युनिटी को टाइम दिया कि ये अच्छी चीज़ है, ये करना चाहिए। ये जो है मैंने ऐसे किया। ये जो है, ये जो आदमी है डैग गैट्रो, ये पाकिस्तान भी गया था, तो ये बड़ा अच्छा है, यहाँ का रहने वाला है। Yes, you see, minority leader Mariano, those are all well respected person. Thank you for their. We never say enough thank you to came and spend time and their speech and they gave the proclamation. This one I have this book, this one too. So this was their
इमरान खान प्राइम मिनिस्टर जो है OIC की कॉन्फ्रेंस कर रहा है, अपना वक्त दे रहा है, मेहनत कर रहा है, वो बड़ी अच्छी बात है। आज जो है, आज ट्यूसडे है और आज ही कॉन्फ्रेंस भी हुई है, तो वो देखी सुनी। मार्च 22
United States Congress. So thank you very much for sitting here. Now I want to introduce Mrs. Farhat Hussain, former member of
ये पाकिस्तान से ये बड़ी इसने कम्युनिटी की खिदमत की,
member of pioneering family of ICNE and one of founding member
बड़ा
of
मुश्किल होता है, लेकिन मुश्किल करना ही पड़ता है, तो फिर ही जो है कम्युनिटी चलती है, अच्छी बातें, तो फिर ही नाम भी अपना भी मुल्क का भी। तो यहाँ पे ऐसे भी हैं आदमी जो नाम छोड़ के बदनाम करने में पाकिस्तान का मशहूर हैं, तो क्या कर सकते हैं, पसंद अपनी अपनी ख्याल अपना किए जाओ, काम अपना।
My husband had finished his education at Oxford, England, and was doing his postdoc fellowship. When he met Yale University Biology Department chairperson who was visiting Oxford, he offered Shaukat position of research associate at Yale. So we came to New Haven,
वो आदमी फौत हो गया, इसका हस्बैंड था
in
शौकत,
1969.
बहुत अच्छा आदमी था।
The appointment was for 2 years, but during that time, the chairman of biochemistry at Tufts Medical School met my husband during a seminar and invited him to Tufts as assistant professor. So we came to Boston, and the university sponsored our immigration
अगर
visa.
कोई ऐसा हो जो पसंद आए तो
thank you. How did you get involved in the community work? Can you tell us, please?
I was much active in extracurricular activities at college, so I gladly participated in the activities of the International Club at Yale University, one of which was a major international fair.
ये बहुत अमेरिका की बहुत बड़ी यूनिवर्सिटियों में
To organize
का नाम ले
Pakistani
रही है,
booths
उसमें वो
with very little help, and it was very successful. Soon I started to make presentations at various places about my culture and religion. After coming to Boston, I became involved in the activities of Pakistan Association of Greater Boston, known as PAGB now. I was the first woman president and vice president of the association, and I also went to various institutions representing Pakistan at that time.
Oh, thank you. I heard that you started the first Muslim youth group in the Greater Boston area. Tell us about, please.
When our children were growing up, at first there were no interesting programs for constructive entertainment for children and youth.
ये टीवी के लिए बहुत जो है वो उसके तैयार करना, उसका क्रू का काफ़ी टाइम कंजम्पशन है, लेकिन फिर अल्लाह ने किया, और ये जो है उन लोगों के मेहनत का याद करना चाहिए, जैसा कि पाकिस्तान में आजकल इमरान खान मेहनत कर रहा है 24/7, उसको शहबाज जरदारी और बलावल को उसको उसके पीछे चलना चाहिए, ना कि आगे चलना चाहिए और आगे चल के उसका रास्ता रोकना चाहिए। कितने बुरे हैं सब आदमियों की मेहनत पे पानी फेर रहे हैं।
Small outings were also arranged and kids enjoyed it, and vacation time was
मैं
spent
कोई सहाफ़ी
in an
एंकर
interesting
या
manner.
ये वो
thank you.
उसमें नहीं हूँ, लेकिन
Mary,
फिर भी
can
जो
you
है
ask-
मेरा
Yes,
जानने
I have
वाले
a
हैं
question
मौका
now.
दिया तो फिर
So,
मैंने ये
I'm curious to know
तैयारी
who
करके
introduced you to the Islamic Center of New England, and how did you get involved
ये
in
जो
the
है
center's activities?
इसके बाप दादा ने
After
बनाया
moving
था
to
आज से
Boston
पहले ये
area,
मस्जिद का
We met Brother Muzammil Siddiqui and his wife, and he informed us about the Islamic Center of New England and encouraged us to take our daughter Sadia to the mosque. So we started going to ISNI in 1972, and soon it became like a second home. In fact, our days at Quincy were the happiest in the center's history. During 1973-75, I was organizing many programs through Pakistan Association, and Dr. Mia Ashraf also attended those programs, and he showed much appreciation. Then Dr.
ये
Ashraf and
डॉक्टर
Dr.
अशरफ जो
Azizi
था वो
from
उसने
ICNE encouraged me
प्रेसिडेंट
to
बिल
run for
क्लिंटन के
the
हार्ट
board.
का वो
But I
सर्जरी
could
की
not
थी
do that
उसमें
at that
वो
time.
शामिल था
Even in those days, I
बहुत बड़ा
remember
डॉक्टर
going to
था, फौत हो
several
गया
planning dinners arranged by Dr. Ashraf and the founders of ICNE to discuss ways of moving forward and of strengthening the Muslim community. In the beginning, I had taught at Sunday school briefly, but my major involvement started later.
देखिए ये कितना
Once for
वक्त
the
अपना
youth
जो
club,
है
I prepared
ये
a
कोई
very
एम्प्लॉय नहीं है
elaborate program called
वॉलंटियर
Meena
है
Bazaar, that you will
बहुत
understand,
टाइम
and
मेहनत
invited
वक्त
Dr. Mia
पैसे
Ashraf,
सब
Brother
कोई
John Umar, Brother
लगा
Asif
के
Azarbash, she was
ये
PTO chairperson, and Sister Sajida Khudairi, besides other parents and friends, and that program was successful. Next Sunday, Brother John Umar announced in the prayer hall about the program that he attended, and he emphasized that such programs should be taking place at the center. So soon I was made chairperson of the PTO's Social and Cultural Committee and asked to organize those programs at the center. And there were difficulties in the beginning, like there was no stage, but Brother John Umar built the
ये
stage,
जान उमर फौत हो
and
गया
it
ये
may
बहुत
still be
अच्छा ये
there in
बानी
Quincy.
था ये मस्जिद का
Oh, thank you.
मैं
That's
इससे
a
मिला
lot of doctors
इसके साथ नमाज पढ़ी
and
कुरान
our
शरीफ
community.
इकट्ठा
Thank you.
वो
I
कहता
have
कि
a
इकट्ठा
question. Did you
बैठ के
or
पढ़ते
any
हैं
member of your family serve on ICNE board? Was your family also involved in the activity of the center? Can you tell us, please?
My husband Shaukat Hussain served in the board from 1984 to 1991. He was chair of Public Relations Committee. Without getting
वो
into
फौत
the
हो गया
board,
है अल्लाह
I had
उसको
chaired
जन्नत
several
नसीब करे
committees
उसके लिए
and had a lot
सब
of
दुआ
support
करें जो देखें
from several
कि
founding
उन्होंने
members
कितना काम
and
किया
pioneering
गैर
families.
मुल्क में तो
But after moving
वहाँ
to
पे
Sharon, I
पाकिस्तान
had to
में
agree
अपना
to
मुल्क
run
हो
for
के
the
भी
board.
ये लोग
And in
जो ठग
1996 was
और
elected
मुल्क से
as a board
लूटी
member.
दौलत जो है वो
Then
अपने
our daughter
मतलब के लिए
Sadia
इस्तेमाल
taught
करते
in
हैं
ICNE's Sunday
शाबाश
school.
शरीफ नवाज
She did the typing of the newsletter
ये
on her new
अमीर
computer
कहाँ के
at
ये
that
वो तो
time,
गरीब हैं जो
prepared
इतना जो
flyers
है
for the
दूसरों
fair
को भी
every
गरीब
year,
कर दिया आप खुद अमीर
introduced
हो गए वो
self-made
कैसी
children's
बात है मैं नहीं
activities
समझता
and games
लेकिन वो बुरे
for the
आदमी के
fair, which
मशहूर से
was
हमेशा
much
नाम उनका
appreciated
याद
by
रहेगा
John Umar, who was her religion teacher when she was younger. And our son Sohail grew up at the center in Quincy, and he participated and helped in every program that I organized.
How were you appointed as the editor of the newsletter, being an immigrant woman?
Well, when I was given the responsibility of arranging social, cultural programs, my first major function was a history program on the occasion of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, birthday celebration. On that occasion, Imam Talal suggested to do a joint program. It was the most elaborate history program ever arranged at the center.
Right.
It included slideshow, video, history plays performed by the children and youth, and devotional songs.
इसके अलावा भी मैंने
photographs from Harvard archives, display
टाइम
of books
दिया
and
शो
posters
बनाए वो
depicting
मैं
the periods in Muslim history.
कभी ना कभी जो है
And
वो
since the birth of the
मौका
Holy
मिला तो
Prophet, peace be upon him,
प्ले
and all this
करूँगा
was prepared by the children and myself. And Dr. Khudari liked the posters,
Right.
and he liked the history plays. So when he became the president, he decided to make me in charge of the newsletter.
Thank you. Mary, I think now you can ask some question.
Yeah, I wanted to hear more about the different programs you organized, and also the biggest fundraiser of all was the International Food Fair. Tell me, how did that originate? Did you have something to do with that?
Well, Eid Milad function, I just said about Prophet Muhammad's birthday, how it was done. And then beside that, there were other religious occasions on which I prepared the children plays and poems and things like that, and which was very much liked by the children and the community. So soon the kids formed the first youth group at the center, and my daughter and son and their friends served in the youth group. About the international fair,
देखे यहाँ पे फेयर करके फूड बना के औरतें हर खानदान फैमिली वो सेल करती है उसकी इनकम जो है डॉलर करके इकट्ठा करके वो फंड में मस्जिद की फंड में देते हैं तो वहाँ यहाँ पे इमरान खान ने कहा था कि वो जो है बकरियाँ कुकड़ियाँ और कट्टे और बच्चे वो बुरे हैं वो बहुत अच्छे हैं ऐसे ही करते हैं ऐसे ही चलते हैं उनको कौन देगा जब तक वो काम नहीं करेंगे तो उनको इकट्ठा बैठे बिठाए तो पैसे नहीं कोई देता तो ना आते हैं जो हैं भी वो भी शहबाज नवाज शरीफ लेके चलो बैठे रहो
of the center's programs.
लेकिन ये इमरान
So the
खान
first
की
year
हिम्मत
it had
है
started with one day.
जिसने दोबारा
But there
वापस
was
मुल्क को खड़ा
overwhelming,
किया है इतना कोई नहीं कर
enthusiasm,
सकता
and then it was decided to make it a 2-day affair. So brother Abdul Wahab Sheikh and his team prepared barbecue for the
अब्दुल
second
वहाब
day,
शेख
beside
ये
other ethnic food
बांग्लादेश
that
था
we had
तो
prepared.
बहुत अच्छा जो
And
है
Dr.
हर
Ashraf
वक्त
started
मस्जिद में
bringing,
खाना पका के सर्व करना
beautiful handicraft
तो
from Kashmir
हर आदमी नहीं कर
to sell
सकता
for the center. And ISNE founders Ashi Abraham and Jimmy Abraham, they gave me much support during the fair every year, not just once.
लेबनान से
So
लोग थे
even though
यहाँ
the
पे
board's
आए
intention
बहुत अरसे
was
पहले
fundraising,
लेकिन
but
उन्होंने
to
अपने
me and
नाम
later to
थोड़े
everyone,
चेंज कर दिए
it was the first opportunity for neighbors and general public in Quincy to get a glimpse of Muslim culture and sample the authentic cuisine from so many Muslim countries. With Mary's help,
Right.
I and Zada Hassan went on Gene Burns' show called Dining Around with Gene Burns. He was a gourmet who had traveled a lot, and his show gave the fair a positive publicity. And next year he came to Quincy to do
ये
his show
थोड़ी
live from the
लेंथी हो
center.
गई है अल्लाह
thank
करे
you.
ये
There's a
यूट्यूब
lot of work
वाले
behind
मुझे
that,
अपलोड करने दें और चलाएं
We are lucky Mary, she
ये
is
वो
one
टाइम जो
founding
है
family
इसलिए
member
मैंने
with
कहा कि
us
मैं
and,
साथ साथ बात भी करूँगा
Were ICNE member using the facility for private function as well? Can you tell us please on that time?
You know, in the beginning, there were no other facilities for the Muslim community to use for private functions, except some university halls to be reserved through their students. So the Mosque Social Hall was used for a variety of functions. Our son's first birthday, our daughter's high school graduation,
ये
later
देखे
her
मुझे
engagement
भी
party, it
इस्लामिक
was all
सेंटर से
celebrated in Quincy
ये मिला
Masjid Social Hall. And later, when we were going to move to Sharon, Dr. Ashraf wanted the larger community to come and see the beautiful premises. So our granddaughter,
मैंने दिखा दिया कि
Sidra's first birthday was
भूल ना जाऊं
planned to take place in Sharon. And it was the first community function that took place in Sharon, and guests came from every direction. Dr. Ashraf was there the day before and on that day. And we had to use the school because the social hall kitchen was not complete. but he still wanted us to let the people come and see.
मौसम अच्छा है,
And whatever gift, whatever cash gift the baby received, we matched it and gave it to the center. So later on, our son's high school graduation, our daughter's granddaughter's Bismillah ceremony, the reading of the Quran ceremony, and so many other people's children's programs, they took place at the center.
Okay.
Mary,
Mary,
what were the other important developments that were taking place at the time? Can you tell us about those?
Well, the first turning point was Imam Talal Eid's arrival. A resident imam of his caliber brought continuity. He could relate with youth in spite of being new to the community. Our children had liked Brother John Umar when they were young, and as teenagers, they and their friends found Imam Talal motivating and engaging. Then the first Islamic conference took place, and it started from Quincy in 1985. Dr. Karim Khudairi was the originating force. Both I and my husband were on the committee. We all worked very hard under the leadership of Dr. Khudairi. I and Sadia, my daughter, with input from some other members, produced the proceedings of the first Islamic Conference of New England. All the ladies worked hard under the guidance of Sister Sajida Khudairi to provide the lunch at the mosque while the conference was at Holiday Inn. Then Imam Talal was contacted by Lindsay Miller of Christian Science Monitor to be part of the documentary Islam in America during Ramadan of 1991. Imam invited us to be present during the interview. So Lindsay Miller's crew also came to the center in Quincy on Eid Day, and our daughter Sadia and Mary were among those who were interviewed. And that documentary was shown all over America and in many countries of the world.
Good.
In 1994-95, during the celebration of the big power, what we call Laylatul Qadr, the Night of Power, Dr. Ashraf had invited Harvard professor Diana Eck and a prominent journalist from Washington. Professor Diana Eck has described that evening in her book, A New Religious America. And I was her host for that evening, so she wrote about us also in her book. But the biggest milestone, of course, was the acquisition of land in Sharon. The first attempt was made for a place in Milton, as most people know in the community. Dr. Ashraf had shown us the place, but the neighbors in the city were opposed to having an Islamic center in their area, and we lost that bid. When the land in Sharon was bought, we saw the place before the construction started. A dinner was arranged by Dr. Ashraf in the existing house, and we had great plans to make a library, an area for ladies, meeting, and a place for the youth and that house. But it did not happen, unfortunately.
Thank you. There's a lot of history. There's the even though I am one member Islamic Center, I don't know those activities and the Sharon extension part. My question is: were you and your family and friend involved in ICNE expansion in Sharon? What about the neighborhood in Sharon? Can you explain a little bit?
When Sharon project came into view, we were so excited. It was our dream for 20 plus years to acquire such a place where our children and grandchildren would have a place to go and learn about their American Muslim identity.
40 मिनट का
Now
ड्राइव
Dr.
है,
Miyashov
बड़ी अच्छी
showed us that we
55
could
एकड़
achieve
लैंड
that goal.
मस्जिद के लिए
So
खरीदी,
many of us were with him all the way through.
उसका वो बता रही है.
Dr. Ashraf, Imam Talal Eid, Abdul Wahab Sheikh's family, Dr. Khalid Butt, our family, Rahila Chaudhry, Ashian Jimmy Abraham, Dr. and Mrs. Karim Khudairi, Darbi's brothers, late Faryal Trabzoni, Dr. and Mrs. Ayaz Hussain, Zahid Durrani, Muhammad Moinuddin, Asghar Ali, Abid Hussain, and some others from the original founders. They were all among the founding families of Sharon campus. Dr. Ashraf was very careful about the neighbors in Sharon because of the experience in Milton. He met the neighbors and provided them with pamphlets and videos about Islam and tried his best to present a positive image of Islam and Muslims even before the construction started. People who use the Sharon Center do not know how indebted they are to Dr. Miyashraf. When the groundbreaking took place in 1993, due to Dr. Ashraf's efforts, there was a front page article in New York Times. Dr. Ashraf had invited leaders of other faiths to share in the groundbreaking ceremony.
मैं उनको स्टॉप कर रहा हूँ क्योंकि ये ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा आधे घंटे की ये वीडियो बनाना चाहता था, तो छोटा सा सवाल और एक्सप्लेनेशन वो अपने काम की दे रही है.
Because we have a limited time, I will
जैसा कि मैं बता रहा हूँ,
Mary, you can ask the questions, so that so we have we can make our show within time. Question.
Were all of you who founded the place still actively involved in the center even after moving to the Sharon campus? Did you remain involved?
Moving to the beautiful new place in Sharon was like our dreams come true.
जिन आदमियों के
We had
अभी
planned
नाम
for 20
लिए,
plus
उनको
years
फोटो,
to acquire such a
ये
place for our generations
बहुत
to
ये
come.
फंडिंग में
The
हर
center
तरह
in
से
Quincy was service
कुकिंग
based,
में सारे
and we brought
ये
the same
इन्वॉल्व है.
spirit to Sharon. I was elected to the board and chaired the International Fair Committee,
काफी
Election
अच्छे
Committee,
ये
Ladies Committee,
कहीं
Alumni
मूव कर गए,
Committee,
कहीं चले
which I
गए.
had proposed in the board and it was approved.
तो ये जो है
Dr. Butt and Ashe Abraham were
तकरीबन
in
जो
the
है
election
ये
committee,
खत्म ही होने
then
वाली है मेरा
Tahsin
ख्याल है.
and Ashe Abraham and Oji Hussain were in the Ladies Committee. Brother
ये शेख
Abdul
अब्दुल
Wahab
वहाब
was elected to the board and
ये
he chaired
बहुत
various
हर वक्त
committees.
जो था
So
ये
all the
वाला
people who were
और
working hard
ये
before,
कुकिंग
they
में
brought
इतना
their
टाइम
hard
देना
work
हर
to
वक्त
Sharon as
मस्जिद
well.
में कितने आदमियों का खाना बनाना
Our daughter
तैयार करना
Sadia and her husband
Oh,
Ijaz
unbelievable.
Baloch initiated and established first ICNE web page and served on ICNE's on the Academy's school committee.
Right.
You know, the Islamic Academy
Right.
on their school committee. Well, unfortunately, we were not used to
ये
politics,
हमारा
so
इमाम था वो.
we don't go to the masjid anymore.
Right.
But the center is there, and people are using it.
ये डॉक्टर अशरफ है
So
जिसने
hopefully
बिल
it will serve
क्लिंटन
as
का
sadaqa
हार्ट
jariyah for
सर्जरी
all
के
of us who
में भी काम
started it.
किया.
Right.
Still, our
मशहूर
most
आदमी है,
beautiful
अच्छा आदमी
and
था.
peaceful memories are that of Quincy. The city had proved to be a welcoming place for so many immigrants from around the world who came to the first Islamic center of New England in Quincy. Thank you, Quincy.
Thank you. That's really, we have to say, everybody say thank you, Quincy. We have a limited time. We want to talk more, but we have something for you. So Mary, she want to give you that's your lot of effort and your work. So we want to give you your appreciation. Yeah, this is for you.
This is the, we're proud, it says the Islamic Center of New
आपने
England,
उसको पहले बताया
on
नहीं
the
था
occasion of
फर्क
the
को.
50th anniversary,
तो
is
वो
proud
उसका
to recognize Farhat
recognize
Hussain
उसके
for her
काम करने
years
का मेहनत
of
कर
exceptional
जी
service
कई साल जो है
to the Islamic Center
उसने
and the Muslim community.
उसको
And I think we've heard some of what you have done.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. very much.
With this thing,
जैसे कि
I
मैंने भी
want to
दिखाया
say
था कि
thank you
मुझे
once
भी
again,
अपना इसमें इन्वॉल्व
the city
रहने में है
official and my guest, and I hope the audience from home they will watch and they
ये
like
ख़त्म हो
it,
गया
and we really appreciate their participation. And
देखने
I
का
want to say
सुनने
special
का
thank you for the
जो
Kuwait
इनमें
TV
शामिल
and
रहे हैं उनके लिए
the volunteer they
दुआ
came
के लिए मैं
and they
गुजारिश
help us
करूँगा
to make that
कि
show. Thank you very much. Thank you once again.
ये है आखिर में जो हम बात कर रहे हैं कि ये अच्छा हो गया तो उम्मीद है आपको भी पसंद आया होगा और भी ऐसा काम करना चाहिए कम्युनिटी के लिए खुदा हाफिज़।